How do you think that makes me feel? I mean, I live my life for this stuff. And someone says to me, who's 109, I'm alive because of getting uncomfortable. So I tell everybody that's listening, get uncomfortable is an important one of the strategies.
Okay, guys, today's guest is a mental health advocate, change maker, and the ambassador for joy, whose message of joy is being embraced globally and is also quite the successful entrepreneur with 2 multi-million-dollar exits in business and 3 issued patents. But one morning, he was walking, talking, dancing, grooving, moving just fine. And then later that evening, he was admitted to hospital, becoming a quadriplegic, paralyzed from the neck down, not by a car accident or spinal injury, but with a rare disease called GBS. Being dependent on other people to care for him, not having use of his body properly for years, and slowly gaining use back over the years to come. He started to look within for answers of ways to experience true joy despite any circumstance and used his situation as an opportunity to live a life of joy and impact others to do the same. He is now swimming over 2 miles a day, 6 days a week, and has a goal to swim around the world. And in his words, he has gone completely mad, which stands for making a difference. So please help me and welcome the man who went from being completely paralyzed from the neck down to now a professional speaker, long distance swimmer, best-selling author, multi-millionaire, and being featured in Oprah Winfrey's magazine, Forbes magazine, Fox, and appeared on Jack Canfield's show as well, plus so many more. My friend, all the way from the States, the ambassador of joy, Barry Shaw.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, Morgan, how can I make the categorical statement that the thousands and thousands of people all around the world that are watching and listening are all good-looking? Because by definition, as they tuned in to listen to you and me, they're always looking for the good. That's a good-looking person, Morgan. Always looking for and finding the good in life. What a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh my God, it is such a pleasure to be here with you as well, Barry. This is even when we first got connected via email, like I've never said I'm like emails for me. Like I'm 28 years old, right? Like I do not vibe with emails, but when I collect emails, they're always just like boring. But then yours come through with rainbow emojis and suns and all this stuff, and I'm like, this guy has so much energy and joy. I was so excited to bring you on and meet you in person. So I'm super excited. So thanks for being able to jump in, Barry. I know we're gonna get some amazing value today that the listeners are really gonna need. So I'm super grateful for you.
Well, it is absolutely a delight and an honor to literally be with the next generation. I want to just jump into something because you mentioned age. You're 28 chronologically. So I have a profound understanding of age that every single person who gets over the age of 25 literally lives in 4 ages all at the same time. You have your chronological age, you have your metabolic age, you have your mental acuity, and you have your SOW. What? What's an SOW? We'll talk in a moment. So chronologically, I'm 73. I'm older than probably 98% of your audience chronologically. Metabolically, I'm 48 because I swim 2 miles a day, which probably more healthy than 98% of your audience who doesn't swim 2 miles a day. They may run and jump and do things, but swimming 2 miles a day, 6 days a week is something. And my mental acuity is the age of 28 because I work with a lot of 28s in this medium we call it the internet. But what it really is it's the worldwide brotherhood and sisterhood of people who are using energy to transform life for the better. And my SOW, yes, sense of wonder. I'm an 8-year-old. You see, when you keep your sense of wonder between 8 and 9, or somewhere between 6 and 9, don't get into double digits because then it's already over. Keep it around 6, 7, 8, 9. then the world becomes alive. Everything, you walk down the street, you see people, things happen, lightning strikes, rainbows come up, sunset, sunrise, surfing, whatever it is. If you can keep that sense of wonder in life, then you'll never grow old. When you lose your wonders, that's when things begin to happen. So I am just so happy that we're integrating together our unique abilities to bring forth the people that listen to you, this ability to say everything is here for me to go mad. Can I just jump into something, if I may? We work, as I mentioned to Walker before, we work with the three fundamentals of life. The three fundamentals are, number one, life, your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. That's a good number two, which, as he mentioned before, you can go mad. Now, MAD is a great acronym. It stands for make a difference. You lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference no matter what you do. And number three is to unlock the power and the secrets of everyday terms. Everyday terms. Simple example. Right now, the internet, like you mentioned, you carried the 60 countries around the world, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions who'll be sharing all of this. And if you ask anybody, what does WWW stand for? Invariably, Morgan will say, has to do with the internet. And factually speaking, they're correct. But in our world, Morgan, the world of the powerful, positive, purposeful, and pleasant, WWW stands for, drum roll, fanfare, da-da, da-da. What a wonderful world. And what a word, right? It's very Australian. What a, man, what a wonderful world, right? That's what WWW stands for. Whenever you see WWW, now say, what a wonderful word. You can say, hey, I listened to Barry Shaw on Morgan's show. He says WWW. What a wonderful word. To put a tip of the hat and a big thank you to Louis Armstrong Satchmo for enabling that song to go viral and touch not just tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. What a wonderful world. When you hear the opening bars of that song, what do you do right away, Morgan?
Yeah,
you smile.
Yeah.
You can't help it, right? Now, SMILE is one of the greatest words, the greatest acronyms you could ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in life. But SMILE stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Wow. Wow, by the way, stands for words of wisdom, words of wonder. Smile, seeing miracles in life every day. Now, people raise their hand and say, hey, Barry Shaw, I've been up for hours already. Didn't see any miracles. And I asked them, can you hear? Are you here? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can build you that. You have water to drink, you have food to eat, you have a place to sleep, you have family and friends. Every single one of those, Morgan, is a miracle. And you know what the proof is? Simple as proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. If you're watching this or you're listening to it, by definition, you didn't.
Yeah.
Therefore, you have an obligation to live exuberantly, right? So just being alive, because life stands for living inspirationally for eternity. You're not here just for a moment. You're literally an eternal being. You think you're 28? That's just chronological. You're really making a difference in the universe by your very presence. When you smile, you light up the world. And we don't do anything but smile and grow and glow. We like using 4-letter words, by the way.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my God. So one of the things you said, I want to dive straight into this. Okay, so you're talking about the, I forget what you called it, the fourth age. What did you call that one again? Sense of wow? Is that what it was?
Yeah, wow stands for words of wisdom or words of wonder.
Words of wonder.
Oh, the other one was SOW, the SOW.
Yes. So you talk about how to stay in that sense of wonder of an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, which is so fascinating because one of the things I teach massively, in fact, the kind of underlying message of my Dream Out Loud method, my 3-day event I run here in Australia at the moment, and is the thing. It's like people come to me and they come to this podcast and they come to these events because they want to learn more. That's what they want. And I always give people what they need. And I say to people, it's like, as much as you're here to learn, you're actually here to unlearn. Because the thing is, people are looking for how they can be this different person, but we're all born incredible. So it's not so much it's teaching you how to be. I'm actually here to help you unlearn the things to be of how you've been taught So you can learn who you were born to be, not who you were taught to be. So I'm a massive believer in that stuff. So I'm really curious to know, where do people allow themselves to start to take on different beliefs and models of the world, I guess? So where do people sort of lose that sense of being this curious kid? And because I get that all the time. People say, "Oh, you're so immature." I said, "Thank you. I love it. I would hate to be mature. I'd hate to be like grown up and do this." Okay, so where do people begin to lose this sense of wonder of the world?
So let's unpack things, because you're asking wonderful questions. By the way, everybody listening, and you should know, this show is not about Barry Shore, nice guy that he is. It's not even about Morgan, wonderful fellow he is. This show is about you, Y-O-U, E-W-E. It's about you becoming the best you possible, not becoming a different person. In other words, like you said so nicely, Morgan, learning, well, what can I do? Becoming authentic you. When that happens, when you can touch the very essence of your being, and again, you're talking about being a good looking person. That means that you need to be able to start looking for and finding the good instead of complaining or blaming. You see, part of what happens in life is, you asked so nicely, is when do these how should we call it, the exoskeleton of life, the hardening of your being happen. And it happens in the ages of 10 to 20. In those 10 years, the education system comes in and gives you a narrow path to walk on. Now, by the way, sometimes it can be to advantage, but most often not, because what it does is that it doesn't allow you to channel the best you. So as an example, the acronym for joy is Journey of You. What's the ultimate joy? The ultimate joy is being the best you possible. Because when you're the best you build bridges of harmony, you create more happiness, more peace, more love in the world. And that's really what life is about, the unfolding of that flower called you. So again, it happens most of the time between the ages of 10 and 20, and it happens in situations where people actually think they're doing the best for you. Teachers, family, friends. And yet what happens is every one of those processes that gets learned puts you in a narrower area instead of broadening your perspective. So I'll give you an example of something, if I may. Let's have a lot of fun. So we talked about, or you mentioned to people that imagine standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leave tall buildings in a single bound, and in the evening being in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed. I mean, nothing in the body moves. 144 days in hospital. 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home, I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles, and that was progress. Today, thank God, I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand made for me by a Zen master. So I'm a triped, not a biped, but I still can't walk up a curb by myself. I can't walk up a stair by myself. I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, but you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. So I had to learn, again, all of the processes that everybody else, including myself for 55 years, would sort of take for granted, which is opening my eyes and being able to sit up in bed and put my feet over the edge of a bed. That was my visualization for 2 years. All I could visualize was I could open my eyes, sit up, and put my feet over the edge of the bed. That was my goal. Did I ever get upset and depressed? Well, hello, am I human? But I also countered it with every time I could move my finger, one of my fingers a little bit more, and you can celebrate. So what is the key? One of the key elements is to learn how to celebrate life.
Yeah.
I celebrate life.
I just want to butt in for 1 second here, Barry.
Yeah.
So, because this is amazing. Did you discover all of this outlook of the world during this, or were you already sort of like it before, or is this the big sort of wake up for you?
So you know the answer already, Morgan. Yes. Am I crazy? Absolutely. In other words, very sure. Were you like this before? So the simple answer is yes and no. I was like this before, but now it's exponential
Yeah.
because I truly can appreciate what it means to have the ability to move my arm. So if you're watching this, you can see Barry Shaw's moving his arms. He's flapping his wings. He can't sit up from the chair because it's from the waist down. He's still what's called paraplegic. That's okay. I can do a lot of things. So I am able now to count. So, but what happened though, Morgan, I'm happy to say, is that I was able to use this time, these 17, 18 years, to begin to articulate and formulate what we call the 11 strategies for learning how to live in joy daily, no matter the circumstances, no matter the circumstances. And one of them is, let's talk a little bit about one of the great strategies. So we said one already, which is SMILE, S-M-I-L-E, the ability to understand that it stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Or as my 8-year-old niece came over to me, she comes over a few weeks ago, Morgan said, Uncle Barry, can we spell SMILE, S-M-I-E-L? And I thought about it. SMILE sounds the same. Why not? And I asked her, how come? She said, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Out of the mouth of an 80-year-old. What was she doing though? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym, Morgan. It stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Rethinking. So we have something in life called neuro-linguistic programming. Yes, very famous term, NLP, which stands for you get to program how you think. You said it so wonderfully. How to unlearn so you can do the programming, right? So we're going to say the 6 most important words that you'll ever listen to, internalize, and utilize in your life. Ready? Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation. I choose not to be upset, disappointed, complain, blame because of my situation. Am I still limited in what I can do? Hello. Does it matter? Hello. The ability to choose. So as I say, I like using a lot of 4-letter words. I even use the 4-letter FU word. I do it because of the shock value. It's fun. Now the 4-letter words that we use, Morgan, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, are love, life, hope, grow, surf, free, play, pray, swim. Those are 4-letter words, right?
Yeah.
And the 4-letter word, FU word, is fun. Fun, yes. F-U, capital N, capital F. Now I know some people right away raising, hey, Barry Shore, fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world. The world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, when you see your family and friends, point your finger and say, F-U, everybody. Remember, have a twinkle in your eye and smile. And they say, what are you talking about? Remember to add right away, F, capital N, capital N. So what are you talking about? So, well, Morgan had on this crazy guy from America, and he wants to teach the world to F-U. Capital N, because unless and until you're having fun in life, you won't be able to expand. You see, everything in life is about expansion. You want to expand your mind. You want to expand your ability to touch others. You want to expand your ability to understand that it's all for the good when you use your eyes to find the good, your ears to listen to the good, and your mouth to speak in good. See, when you can align your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, you're now a spiritual chiropractor. So you know what a chiropractor is, right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you ache and you go to the chiropractor and he or she goes, you're aligned. That's physical. What we want to do is in the spiritual, emotional world, you want to align your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, and now you're flowing. flowing is, what a way to live. You ever
Mm,
see things out in the garden? They I think, and even in Australia, they call them flowers, right?
yeah.
But you know how you're supposed to pronounce the word flower?
How?
Take the first part of flower, Flow. How do you pronounce that?
Flow.
Flow. So add an ER, it should be a flower. It is. In other words, a flower is really a flower. Everything that's flowing through it that allows it to grow, and the blossom. Think of a sunflower or
Mm.
sunflower, they call it. You know, that big face with all the seeds. And I mean, that is something that is flowing, right? So
Yeah.
we want to become a flower. You're a human flower. So when people say to you, you're acting immature, say, yeah, I'm still flowing.
I absolutely love it. So I'd love to dive into your 11 strategies. Okay, so you kick us off with number one. Before we do dive in, unless this is one of the 11, you can just tell me to shut up and keep going. You mentioned before when you were, when you can move one finger, you're starting to say, like, starting to celebrate the smaller things and celebrate the things. So can you talk a little bit about that and what fill us in with your 11, your
Yes,
amazing 11 ways of joy?
yes. Let's go. I'm going to touch on a couple quickly, and I'm going
Yeah.
to give you a story. So the story is about my friend Aida. So I first met Aida when she was 95. And I was in the pool learning, I was swimming by this time. And I don't know if we even talked about swimming yet, but we'll talk a little more. But I was in the pool swimming with my special equipment. And Aida at 95, she was in the pool walking. She's not swimming anymore, but she's walking. Okay, we had a chance to speak. And I like talking, especially to a 95-year-old woman started talking. And she told me after a few weeks, she said, you know, Barry, and the fact that she remembered my name was quite wonderful. She said, look, I'm 95. I like being alive, but I want to be like you. I want to be happier. What can you do to help me? So I started working with her on the 11 strategies. And her favorite of the strategies is get uncomfortable.
Mm.
Get uncomfortable? Yeah, get uncomfortable. Now, when we're talking about uncomfortable, Morgan, we're not talking about putting a pebble in your shoe or your sneaker and walking around all day so it hurts. We're talking about something like learning to brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Huh? Yeah, because now you can engage your mind and your actions at the same time, so it becomes mindful, not mindless. And we know the difference, right? So it's when you walk out of the studio after we finish, or you're going to go out of the front door of your house, and normally you turn right, don't turn left. Whatever you do something different consciously. So here's Aida, and we're working on this idea of getting out of your comfort zone. And I'm going to tell you, fast forward, amazing story. Last October, I was able to sing happy birthday to Aida, as I had been doing for years, on her 109th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a wow. Wow, words of wonder, words of wisdom. But here's the best part. I go over to the house, and again, this is during COVID, so I wore a mask for her and such like that, but she didn't care. I come in the house, she says, hi, Barry, sing me a song. Now, why do I say that? Because at 109, she's saying, hi, she remembers my name. I don't remember my name sometimes. Sing me a song. I sing her a special song that I composed just for her. The point is, she says to me, that it's the strategy, this particular one of get uncomfortable, that helps her be alive. Wow. How do you think that makes me feel? I mean, I live my life for this stuff. And someone says to me, who's 109, I'm alive because of getting uncomfortable. So I tell everybody that's listening, get uncomfortable is an important one of the strategies. That's number one. That's another one of the strategies. Here's an amazing strategy, which is so important, and we all know it, and yet somehow we're not doing it. You ready? Drum roll, fanfare, da-da, da-da. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, to say the two most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day, Morgan, consciously and conscientiously. Thank stands for to harmonize and network kindness. to harmonize and network kindness. The Dalai Lama has been quoted as saying, read in his writings, be kind whenever possible. As he says, it's always possible. So imagine you walk into your coffee shop and no mask, no pandemic, forget all this stuff, it's over. You walk in, you order your fancy latte, you sit down, someone brings it to you. You say, thank you. You walk in the coffee shop, you order your fancy latte, a few minutes go by, nobody brings it. So you go to the counter, you say, oh, I'm sorry, we forgot, we're so busy. And you go back, you sit down, a couple of minutes go by, someone brings it. You still say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out. Somebody holds the door open for you. What do? You say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out, and somebody slams the door on you. What do you say? Thank you. You're in traffic, you're late for an appointment, somebody cuts you off. What do you say? Thank you. You get up in the middle of the night, you stub your toe and it hurts. You say, not that word, you say, thank you. To harmonize and network kindness. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Therefore, be kind always. Kind stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. Keep inspiring noble deeds. That's right. Each one of us can do this. When you say thank you consciously and conscientiously 3 times a day, for now, for the rest of your life. That's it. Not the next 2 weeks, not the next 21-day challenge, or no, the rest of your life. Because what happens is the energy that comes forth from a conscious, conscientious being can never be stopped, Morgan. You know, in a world where there's physical objects, you can stop something. But in the world of the spirit, it is impossible. There's nothing that can stop the powerful, positive, purposeful, pleasant energy of goodness. So when you say thank you, consciously and conscientiously, you're helping yourself. This is selfish. I love being selfish. You're helping yourself, your family, your friends, all living beings. That's another one of the great strategies.
This is amazing. You keep mentioning these 4 P's. Can you repeat them?
Yes, the 4 P's: positive,
Yeah.
purposeful, powerful, and pleasant.
So what exactly are these? Are these ways of you like to live your life? Do you have more acronyms on these, or is this?
Yes, we have an acronym for each one of these. We have, thank God, at the moment, and I'm saying this purposely now, over 497 acronyms as of today. And it's called the Joy Vocabulary. We post them on Instagram and things like that. And I think if you follow each other, you see it on my Instagram, and we urge people to share it and such like that. Not only do I post the word, but I articulate it. We just used the word calm the other day, and care, and angels, and things like that. And we have a beautiful understanding of each word. I'm talking about regular words, common everyday words. And the issue is that I'm urging people to get involved and to contribute to the joy of living vocabulary. In other words, we want people all over the world. It's not a Barry Shore thing. This is open to everybody to take words like Barbie or some other words that are, let's say, common in down under, and bring forth the positive, purposeful, powerful aspect, and we'll publish it. We want to publish it so that there are thousands, if not tens of thousands, because you said it perfectly before, Morgan. It's unlearning. It's unlearning. So when you hear the word SHIT, well, so we have a positive aspect. I won't tell everybody because I want you to look it up. But I also want to mention one of the great strategies is to understand that shift happens. Now, I want to pronounce that again. Shift happens, because Morgan, when you meet people, for some reason, a lot of people drop the F in shift, and they think the other stuff. So really, when you understand that something as small, insignificant as learning a word and another positive aspect to it, that causes a shift in the mind. And once that shift happens, it doesn't go back again. You can now become a flower instead of a flower. And I'm going to hear people, some of them are going to say, did he say flower? Yeah, okay. So let's have fun. Behind you, you have a number of different words. And I want to look at one of them that says, well, we talked about fun already. F you, Morgan, capital N, capital N. But you have something called own it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. These three letters, OWN, this is in the book as one of the strategies. The strategy is called, it's a very famous Zen idea, but the strategy is called be here now. Starts with the word now. And there's a very important line that I've literally shared and taught thousands and thousands of people. And that is the following. Ready? Later is the first step to never. You ever get involved with something and say, yeah, I'll do that later? Well, that's not how totally responsible people do things. Later is the first step to never. So let's take a look at the word now, because now is so critical to understand. These three letters are just so fascinating. Now stands for no other way. When something needs to be done now, no other way. It needs to get done now. Now, if you accept it upon yourself to do that, in other words, living in a world of 100% responsibility, 100% responsibility, not, yeah, but you know, that's complaining and blaming. 100% responsibility. Now, no other way. When you begin to live that way, guess what happens? You own it. Own stands for only with now. That's how you own it, right? You live in the now, no other way. You own it, only with now. And when you live this way repeatedly, guess what? Same three letters, you've won, W-O-N, with only now. See, it becomes so easy because it all revolves around small words that we use regularly, and then it become part of you. You want to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life. So I want to speak, if I may, with your permission, about what I call the N word.
Yeah.
Did he say the N word? Yeah. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here's the N word. Ready? No. 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 You asked before about how someone learns to be encased, right? Like in armor, instead of continuing to be smooth and flowing and such. This word no, which most people will spell N-O. So if you think about it, if you ever hang around kids that say they are between the age of 2 and 8, I dare say that the most often used word towards them, with them, is no. Am I correct?
Yes.
And you hear kids even repeating, no. They'll tell, older kids will tell their siblings, no, no, because that's what they hear. But what we've done is we've packaged it or repackaged it. And if you understand that the letters N-O are surrounded by two other letters, a K and a W. So now, K-N-O-W, how do you pronounce that, Morgan?
No.
It's a very different no than the no, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's the English dictionary for us, eh?
Right. So K stands for kindness and W stands for wisdom. So if you are in the business called sales, as an example, or any kind of relationship, every time you hear the word no, again, this is Barry Shaw's strategies. These things work, by the way. I'm not giving you pie in the sky. I'm telling you stuff that works, that I know because I've been working with them even before I was paralyzed, but I was able to concretize and articulate them and formulate them and put them into a process for people. Thousands, thank God, thousands of people now begin to think this way and act this way and speak this way. Every time you hear the word no, when you hear it, you're going to see the letters K-N-O-W. If you're in sales, somebody said, no. Okay. You surrounded that NO with kindness and wisdom. And now you have the intestinal fortitude to say, can you tell me why? Huh? I just told you no. I said, I heard. I said, how, why? Oh, now you have the potential of opening or reopening discussion. Now, again, this is when I talk about sales, I don't just mean somebody buying something for somebody else, somebody selling something, because it exists in human interaction. Everything is in some form sales. A man and a woman, brothers, sisters, parents, teachers, everybody is involved in the process of selling because it's called communication. I want to sell you what's best for you. You said it before so wonderfully. It's not what you want, it's what you need. Am I correct? You said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was the genius of you using the word no, K-N-O-W. You just didn't know that that N-O was surrounded by kindness and wisdom. Because that's how you meant it, by the way. That is exactly what you meant. You are not here to give people what they need because you're a taskmaster. You're not one of those bureaucrats in Sydney or wherever they are with lockdown and edicts and this and that. Your whole being is kindness and wisdom and giving and love. That is an important strategy to understand. It starts with now, to own, to one, and then understanding the N word. No. But whenever I hear the N word, no, I hear K-N-O-W.
Yeah.
Kindness and wisdom.
What I love so much about all this is you're looking at everything and you're reframing it to a different perspective, because that's something that we do have control over, right? Like, and we can look at anything, and there's a million ways to look at things. You know, this is good, it's bad, it's up, it's down, it's left, it's right, it's spiral, it's whatever, and we can create that. So let's take like what's just happening right now. We'll use a couple of different examples. So what's happening right now in Australia? Australia is like some hardest COVID lockdown shit, different laws, mandates. It's been happening for the whole time, right? And many other people as well. But how can, if someone's listening to this going, well, it's, I get what you're saying. I hear it. I understand it. However, it's just not that easy sometimes still, life's just so hard. Like, how can someone that's sort of, in that frame of mind start to break out of that mold and start to reprogram their mind to find more of this?
So this is wonderful and fundamental. And I hope everybody is saying, yeah, Morgan, sock it to him. Come on. It's easy for you to say, Barry Schuh. You were only paralyzed. What do you know? Okay, fair enough. I don't know everybody's story, but I do know the human condition. I know the human condition. The human condition is predicated on pain, paranoia, feeling stress, anxiety, depression. Did I touch on all the things that people feel, Morgan? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how do you break out of that? How do you begin to sort of, by even using those words, I sort of put people in a hole. How do you start climbing out? Okay. So let's first of all have fun. F-U, capital N, capital N. Let's have some fun. The genius of words is, because that's how people think. We think in words, we speak words, we act in words. So I'm going to give you a few words that are going to help you, because that's what you're asking for, right? Mm-hmm. What can we do to sort of help people get into something? So let's go deep first, then we'll have a little more fun after that. There's a lot of ways that people hear things. They hear it from radio, television, podcasts, except for this one, of course, because it's all positive.
This is the best. This is the best one out there.
Yeah. and most of the stuff that people hear, most of the time, tends to border on the negative, because it resonates with people. I'll throw you one that you're just going to love. You're going to love this. Love, by the way, stands for living on vibrant energy. You ever hear the word paranoia?
Yeah.
You could ask 1,000 people, and I urge you to do this on any kind of social media you have. Okay, I'm taking a poll. How many people have heard the word paranoia? Out of 1,000 people, you're going to have 1,000 people raise their hand. Everybody's heard the word. They even think they know what it means. That something negative is going to happen. It's they're out to get me. That's paranoia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wipe the slate clean for a moment. Take a little bit of a breath. Now you're going to ask the next day, how many people here know what the word pronoia means? Pronoia? How do you spell it even? Well, pronoia, P-R-O-N-O-I-A, pronoia. You won't find 1 in 1,000 that knows what pronoia is. What is pronoia? Pronoia is the belief, the understanding, the knowledge that things are happening for the good. The universe is conspiring to do good things for me. I think that's what Barry Shaw does. I think this way. By the way, when you start thinking this way and you use these words, you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? Who wants to be happier, healthier, wealthier? Raise your hand. I do. So pronoia, not paranoia. Yeah, but don't you understand Morgan's question? How do I do it? Hello, we just said it. Now I'm going to give you the path to walk on. You ready? The most important speech you'll ever hear is called self-talk. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Self-talk. What you say to yourself has far more impact than anything you hear in the radio, the television, and even from your girlfriend, your lover, your wife, I hope they're all the same, your parents, whoever it is, friends, self-talk. But here's how you have to understand self-talk. Self-talk stands for recognizing you are a soul experiencing life fully, teaching always love and kindness. Teaching always love and kindness. So, simple story. When we used to be able to fly easily, you get on the plane, forget the COVID stuff and the shoes off, and you get on the plane, you're sitting there, and the person in the front of the plane or the video says, if we have a change in cabin pressure, then what's going to happen is the breathing apparatus is going to come down from up above, right? And if you're traveling with a child or someone acting like a child, then what do? You put the breathing apparatus on you first and then on the child. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That's counterintuitive, right? I mean, I want to help the kid, but you can't. The best way you help someone else is by being calm and aware yourself. So when there's turbulence and things happening, and the plane is moving up and down, which is the same as, the state and lockdown and all kinds of stuff going on. Breathing first. You're calm and aware. Now you can help someone else. Self-talk. If your friend says, hey, I'm really hurt and I need to speak with you, are you going to say, well, call me next week and we'll make an appointment? You make time and you listen. You'll be an ear. You won't be speaking right away into it. You'll be listening. And you try and really want to help. And you tell them not to just pat them on the head and say everything's going to be all right, because maybe it won't be. But you'll think and you'll try and speak in love and kindness. Now, we do that for our friends. Do we do that for ourselves? Well, when something happens, you say, yeah, you see, you know how you mess up. Hello? Your friend, you're willing to help, but you're not helping yourself? Self-talk, recognizing you're a soul, experiencing life fully, teaching always love and kindness. It doesn't mean excusing yourself. It means 100% responsibility. But it's teaching always love and kindness. You start practicing this day in and day out for just a minute, Morgan. Within a week or 2 or 3 months, whatever it takes, everybody's different. You'll see there's a difference in how you approach life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'll use it. You say thank you 3 times a day, consciously, conscientiously. Get uncomfortable. Smile, seeing miracles in life every day, as my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles everyday life. Say to somebody, did I tell you today how much I appreciate you? Did I say that? Did I tell you today how much I appreciate you? In other words, become that flower that you would like if someone said to you, did I tell you today how much I appreciate it? What would that do to you? Would that make you feel better? Yes. How much more time we have?
As you go, whatever you got to say, you can go.
Okay. I will say, but I want to go deeper into a couple of quick things here because I think it's really it's fun,
Yeah, it is.
capital N.
I'll just say one thing on that. Before we go in deep here, like one thing my mentor's always taught me is like, it's like we choose the goggles that we wear, and the goggles that we put on is how we'll see the world. And what you're saying there, it's like all the self-talk. So what that means is like the things that we are saying to ourselves and the things that we're doing, how we live and breathe. And it's so funny that you say like, hey, have I told you that how much I appreciate you? That comes out of my mouth regularly, randomly to people around me, housemates, friends. I'm just randomly all the time because I it's so programmed into me. And by the way, not too long ago, 6-7 years ago, things used to come out of my mouth was get out of my way. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm testament that this stuff's been reprogrammed, and it literally is that. It's like, it's how we see ourselves on the inside. The things that are happening inside of our internal dialogue is literally the goggles that we'll put on, and we'll see the world that way.
So I ask you, Morgan, from 6 to 7 years ago, when the speech was different, are you in a better place today than you were then?
Absolutely.
And it's not just in a feel-good type of way, but in every measure of your life and in your business. I mean, you told me how many tens of thousands of people you have on Instagram and followers and this and such. I am positing that a lot of that is an outgrowth of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an attitude of, gee, I'm going to be happy because that's going to get me more followers. That may happen for some people in the beginning, but it's the ability to understand that you're selfish because that's the best way to serve the world. To serve the world. You're here to serve. When you recognize that you're here to serve and you smile about it, guess what? I want to serve more. I like serving people ice cream because it makes them happy. Well, guess what? You have a lot of ice cream too. It has to be. It's a law. See, law is an interesting word also. When people hear the word law, you think of what do you call lockdown, or you speeding, and the law, oppressive. Not in our world. Remember, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Law stands for love and wisdom. Love and wisdom, because it's a law. The law of attraction is a law, like the law of gravity. It has to happen. When Morgan becomes more Morgan, and he's saying to people, good morning, in certain language, good morning, hello, how can I help? And that stuff comes out of him in an authentic way. And it may have taken him weeks, months, years before it became part and parcel of him, and he enjoyed doing it. The journey of you, he discovered that's him, and he unfolded himself, and he attracted more of what he wants in life. That's a wonderful way to live.
Yeah, it's far better than the past, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a choice, hey, everybody, would you choose to be sad and anxious and depressed, or happy, healthy, and wealthy? Gee, I don't know. I think I'm. Well, you may all say, I want to be happy, healthy, and wealthy, but how do you use your thoughts, your words, and your deeds? If you ever allow yourself to complain or blame, then you're not in the process of becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. Don't complain, don't blame is one of the great strategies in the book, the 11 strategies for living in joy daily. Now, we're on Down Under and Around the World. So for people who want to get the book, it's probably best to get the ebook, and because to ship overseas costs too much money for everybody. And because of 2022, we're giving a 22% discount on the book, physical or ebook. So if you're in America, you can get it physically or ebook. Around the world, we'll do it as an ebook. I think as an ebook, plus minus $14 US, something like that. But it's a 22% discount. So just either contact Morgan or he'll give out my.
Yeah, we'll drop all your details in the description, so
Right.
everyone can check out everything in the description of this episode.
Right, and there's a free gift also. There's a free $50 gift we have on the site, which I teach people in 3-minute videos some of these wonderful strategies. So it's readily available. I'm here to serve. That's the reason I'm alive. That's the reason I'm moving and I'm doing and I'm swimming 2 miles a day, 6 days a week, and I'm literally bringing forth my best because it's all I have is what I want to do. And again, I'm deeply humbled and honored, Morgan, that we're having this. This is not a conversation, that we're together as beings and doing this. Your age and my age together is over 100. That's a pretty cool thing. We're not at what's her name, at Aida yet, but hey, we'll get there soon, hopefully. And she's still here. She still plays the piano, by the way. Huh? Hello.
Incredible.
Okay, I'm going to do 2 more things because of time. I want to talk about breathing, because you mentioned it, and I also want to talk about dog poop. Did Barry Shore say dog poop? Yes. Okay. Well, I got your attention with that. Good. So people ask regularly, okay, Barry Shore, come on, I need some practical tips and tools. Well, I gave you some, like thank you and things like that. But one of the most important that you can do for yourself, your family, friends, and all living beings is to breathe. Now I say, oh, come on, Barry Shore, I'm breathing. Hello, I'm here. I'm listening to you. I'm talking about deep breathing. Now, we talk about breathing into what's called the diaphragm. So it's called diaphragmatic breathing, but most people can't spell it and they don't know where it is. So I talk about tummy breathing. So basically it's the ability to sit comfortably. You can do it standing as well, but sitting is good. You don't have to go cross-legged and om and all that sort of stuff, but it's just breathing in through your nose, deep as you can into your tummy area. And then, pardon me, and then breathing out slowly through your mouth. It takes about 8 seconds to do that process. If you do that 4 times, slowly and clearly, in through your nose, into your tummy, and back out through your mouth, just slowly, 32 seconds. 32 seconds. And you do this twice a day, once before noon, once after noon. In 11 days in a row, without missing a time, by the 12th day, you'll be consciously calm and aware. Imagine that, being calm and aware. It takes 32 seconds at a time. If you're ever in a situation where you're stressed, anxious, depressed, anything like that, in 32 seconds, you can regain your calm, aware status. You're in control. Remember, choice, not chance, determines your destiny. So when you choose to learn how to breathe this way, and you use it twice per day, once before noon, once after noon, 11 days in a row, you will become the better you. We want you to become the best you possible. And I urge everybody, when you do this and use it, send in notes to Morgan, say, hey, that guy's nutty, but it works. By the way, NUT stands for never underestimate thanking. That's a nut. Never underestimate thanking. So we talked about dog poop, right? You're going to breathe. Let's also talk about, everybody knows what dog poop is, right? You know it. You're thinking about it right now. So, oh, what are they talking about? It smells. Just bear with me for a moment. One of the greatest acronyms you could ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life. Learn to love dog poop, because dog poop stands for doing of good, power of one person. What happens often, Morgan, in life is that someone thinks possibly even, what can I do? I mean, I'm one person. You've heard that before, right? Well, I'm one person. Okay. If you knew what the power of one person is, not only would you never think what we just said, but you'd begin to be you. See, doing of good consciously and conscientiously. Remember what we talked about? Get uncomfortable. Uncomfortable means be conscious and conscientious and be mindful. The doing of good, picking up a piece of litter, saying consciously, hey, you look good today. That was a great shot. Well done. Power of one person. I'll give you a small analogy. Something called the butterfly effect. Are you familiar with the butterfly effect?
Yeah.
Okay, well, lots of the listeners aren't. So at least in the United States, by the way, North America, South America, there's a very large migration of millions and millions of butterflies from North America to South America covering the Andes Mountains. And there's very famous pictures of all this. It's wonderful. And supposedly 50 plus years ago, scientists measured the flapping of butterflies' wings in the Andes, affecting the wind movement off the coast of Japan and affecting a tsunami. That's the flapping of a butterfly's wings, the butterfly effect. Non-sentient beings, how much more so a human being sentient human being conscious and conscientious about doing something positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. How much more so can you affect the world? Because you're not just affecting yourself. And again, be selfish. I want to do this because I want a better life. Great. But you're helping yourself, your family, your friends, all living beings. Nothing can stop it. That's the amazing thing. When you do something good, nothing can stop. There's no walls, there's no forest, there's nothing in the world that can hold back that positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant energy that you emitted. That's all by loving dog poop. I like that one.
Oh my God. That's, oh, I couldn't think of a better way to finish this up. Barry, this has been incredible. Where can everybody find you? What's your website? Where can everybody find you and get onto all your incredible
They
stuff?
can find me. If everybody walking through Henderson, Nevada in the United States, come on over and say hello.
Find the guy with the big stick, eh?
Right, it's easy to find him. He'll be in the swimming pool. But the easier way at the moment is to go to www, remember what that stands for? What a Wonderful World. BarryShore.com, BarryShore, BarryShore.com. There's a lot of free, useful, practical, good, positive, purposeful, powerful information. A free course, $50 value. You can have the discount on the book. Sign up for the newsletter. It's free. It's just, we're here to serve. We're all here to serve. Okay, so I have a little bit more service than most people, but it's here. And I want people to use it so that we all begin to contribute to one another. One hand reaching out to another, reaching out to another, around the world. There's nothing that can stop us when we are always looking for and finding the good.
Incredible. I love it. Barry, to wrap this up, I've got one final question for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you were to go back to your 18-year-old self and give him 30 seconds of advice, what would it be?
Live life to the full.